Good evening. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Good evening. My name is Edmund Chapman, CEO of Stop Playing Apparel. Stop playing was a phrase I coined back in 2011. Those simple words are not telling you to get over things you're going through, but to help you get through those things that might be weighing you down or you might be struggling with. In 2021, I launched my apparel company. I'm gonna post a link so you guys can go and check out my Stop Playing sweaters, hoodies, joggers, shirts. So these simple words on the apparel can help you motivate you when you get through them troubled times and you just need some encouragement. So come check me out. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's game time. And as y'all see, I got a special guest with me today. I got Miss China Carter Lawrence. China, say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad Ed invited me to speak and give my insight on this topic.
All right, y'all. So today, like always, I'm here to motivate as much as I can, to inspire, to encourage you guys, to give you guys maybe a different point of seeing things through a different lens. And China, along with me today, is going to help me do this. Today's topic is, what do you do when your vision and aspirations does not align with your spouse's? Listen closely. Let me say it one more time. What do you do, men, women, when your vision and your aspirations does not align with your spouse's? So off the top of my head, the first thing I can say is pray. You have to come to the Lord about everything before you get going in a marriage, before you get to talking about visions. You have to pray. And you have to find out, what was my spouse's vision as a single person? What was their vision? Because in the Bible, in Proverbs 29, I think it is, it says, people without visions perish. China, what do you think about that? People having no vision, or a single person's vision, learning your spouse's vision before you guys even talking about your vision as a family?
Well, how I feel about that is that's very important, first and foremost. And also, I feel like you both have to be spiritually in tune with each other. So it helps that, like, if you're a Christian, you should find a mate that's a Christian also. So that way, when you do get deeply involved with each other, you don't hit any bumps down the road, so that really, really helps.
That's good. And I agree totally with that. It goes back to being equally yoked. Can you break down what equally yoked means?
Well, what I think equally yoked means is both of you, I mean, it just means just what it says. Like, I always picture two animals, right? Maybe two goats or sheep or whatever, and they have the yoke around their neck, and so they're like this, right? And they have to go together, so they're going down the pasture together. Mm-hmm. But if one is bigger than the other, or one is, let's say, people wise, one is making more money than the other, and the other person is not on that level, doesn't have an education, then now you're unequally yoked, and the bigger one, the bigger goat or sheep, is just pulling the other animal. So that's my version of unequally yoked, if that makes sense.
That's good. I like that. I like the fact that you said that both parties are going in the same direction. That to me sums up a lot of what equally yoked means. both parties going in the same direction. First of all, like you said, being Christians, you can't have a believer with a non-believer. Just like
Absolutely.
you can't have a alcoholic with a person that don't drink at all. And I'm saying an alcoholic, not a person that drinks. An alcoholic with a person that don't drink at all. They're not equally yoked.
Right.
So basically, it's this, like you said, it's two people going down the same path and have some of the same visions. And that
Yeah.
brings back to our topic. Because if you're, before you get married, you find out what is her or what is his vision for their life. And then you see if anything in their vision is got any type of similarities to your vision. Because
Mhm.
off the jump, you guys might not be equally yoked off top because your visions might be totally opposite way. Like she said, with the now you're one pulling the other, trying to get them or trying to get him or trying to get her to come along with their vision, and then now it's a battle.
Yes.
So I think that is the most important thing to find out. And if you haven't did it already, people, it's okay if you have not did that already. It's fine. But now's the time to hear each other. You have to hear your mates.
Yes.
You have to hear your woman, fellas. You have to hear your man, ladies, and hear them and see, like I said, if anything is any type of similarities that can help you guys. Say, for instance, both of you guys got a vision of a house and kids. We can start there. Great. We both had a vision to have a house and two kids or kids. So you take that small win and you can create something off that small win. But China, I'm gonna ask you something. Myself, I'm all about delivery. And I feel if I'm dating a woman or married to a woman and she wants me to see her vision, I feel like the delivery, she needs to have a good delivery. Because to me, delivery is key. Not being passive aggressive, not being it's my way or the highway, but delivery. So that's another key point. So being equally yoked, praying, and delivery. What do you think about that to help you see your husband's vision if it does not align with yours? Or make
Yeah.
your husband see your vision if his don't like align with yours?
Um, well, what will make my husband see my vision if it doesn't align with his? I think when you present your vision to your spouse, it has to be something that's going to take your family, your finances, or any other aspect in your life up to a higher level. So when you present your idea or your vision to your spouse, you have to be receptive to rejection as well, because you never know what your spouse's plans are. Maybe your vision and your plan or your aspiration conflicts with theirs. So when a spouse kind of is leaning towards like no, or seems apprehensive about your vision, the first things first is not to get discouraged or to get upset with your spouse. This is where communication comes in. You have to communicate. You have to make clear, concise points. You have to be able to listen. Don't talk over each other. Man, if you had to, me and my spouse had to do this one time when we were like choosing a home. Let's make a pros and cons list. We had to get down to that point because it was like, I don't like that house. Well, I do. Well, I don't, and it's like, okay, well, tell me what you don't like about it. Let's make pros and cons. And then, you put your visions together. Okay, let's compare. If we go this route, what would this mean for our children? So it's a lot of ways you can sit down with your spouse to get those visions to align. It may not go the entire way you want it to go, but that's okay. As long as communication is clear and you both are in agreement. Also, a lot of times you may have a vision, but your spouse is just like, I'm with you. They don't have nothing to say, no input. Whatever you want to do, baby, I'm here. I'm rocking with you. That's okay too. Don't be like, and to say, what you know, just go with the flow, because that means that your vision was so good and your presentation was so immaculate that they like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm going with that. That seems like that's going to get us to where we need to be in life. So that's my little insight on that.
Now I'm gonna circle back to something you just said in a second, because you just made a good point, but an interesting point as well. So when you say communication, to me, I hear team.
Yes.
I hear we on a team, like football team, basketball team, soccer. We a team. There's the coaches, and our kids are the players. So we have to be always in conjunction with each other, because it's a lot of components to a marriage. And we have to know that we are a team before everything. And I just feel also, if your visions don't align, take a break. Like you said, don't be take a break. Pray on it. Go on a 4-day fast.
Yes.
Fast can be social media, it could be TV, it could be something the guy likes to do a lot, something the lady likes to do a lot. It could be playing a video game, it can be food, it can be whatever your device is. But go on a little fast and let the Lord seek into your soul and tell you what y'all vision might be. And y'all come back together and y'all might be able to get it on the same accord. But
Yes.
don't be so mad and so angry if it don't align. Or don't be like, I ain't about to fast. I don't believe in fasting. Okay, what you believe in, being passive aggressive? That ain't gonna work either. What you believe in, being angry? What you want to get divorced? You have to figure something out. You're a team. We have to have a game plan for what we're about to do. And the visions can change. You could have had a vision for the family. He could have a vision for the family, but that can change by simply making a vision board. Me and China had a conversation a while back about vision boards. And what I told her my family used to do is sit down as one and make one big vision board. I get it, people make the individuals, and that's cool. But sometimes as guys, we be like, I ain't about to make no vision board. But when it's as a family, it's a little different. So that might be another way that you guys can go about it. But I want to circle back to something China said. Do you feel, if your husband really didn't have a vision and that's rocking with yours, that you're pulling him along now? Because you said, like, don't be mad if your husband or your spouse, your spouse, do not say anything. Your vision could be so dope, and it could be, but do you also feel like he or she did not say anything because they don't have no vision, and they just going with you, and now you kind of pulling them along, kind of how you said in the beginning with the sheep? Do you feel that way, that you're pulling them along because they just going like, all right, whatever. You want to go? That's your vision. All right, cool. Let's go. We want to go by the house. All right, cool. Let's go by the house. We want to go on vacation. Cool. Let's go. So what do you think about that? I get what you said, but what do you think about, do you feel any type of way, not trying to be argumentative with your spouse, but do you feel like he didn't have a vision, now he just rolled on my vision, or she just rolled on my vision? Do she really hear my vision? Do she see my vision, or is she just rolling with the flow?
I mean, the only way you can actually feel like you're pulling your spouse along is if your spouse is not contributing anything. Just because your wife has a vision and you're a man and you don't have a vision at that moment does not mean that, yeah, my wife is pulling me or I'm less than a man or anything like that. That doesn't mean that at all. That just, I mean, as long as that man is a provider, has a good relationship with God, take care of his kids, is nothing wrong with that. We gotta stop putting stigmas on marriages for real, because every marriage is not gonna be the same. It's different dynamics in everybody's marriage. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh well, my husband, he pay all the bills. All I got to do is cook and clean." Well, what if your husband wanna cook and clean? What if your husband do better with the kids and you do better in the office setting and you enjoy going to work and you enjoy corporate America? You got to stop putting stigmas on marriages. If it works, it's just that it works. Leave it alone. Leave it alone and stop letting people put their insight on how your marriage should be. As long as it aligns with one another's and as long as it aligns with God's vision, that's the most important thing. You cannot feel like, oh, I'm just dragging my husband along if he's doing everything he's supposed to do for you and your family, period. That's all I got to say about it.
That is good. I'm telling a quick short story about me growing up. My father was retired most of my grade school and high school on years. So it go back to what you said. He was one home, made sure we did our homework, made sure we got on a bus, cooking, cleaning, and my mom was going to work because my mom was still working. He was retired, but my mom was still working, but he was doing, like you said, doing all the other stuff, the cooking, the cleaning, waking us up for school, um, making sure we had breakfast, make sure we got to the bus on time, making sure we did our homework. So you're right about that. Marriages can be in a different way. I mean, some people, it might be flipped just because it's flipped, because a man might like doing those things and still going to work or whatever. But my situation is he just happened to be retired. So he was able to do a lot of those core things at home. But like China said, and like we've been trying to get into you guys' head this evening, prayer is the number one thing you have to do and seek God if it's not aligned. And just because, for instance, I was an entrepreneur and my wife at the time was a workaholic. She liked working, called off sick, broken femur, and she still was working. But that did not mean our visions didn't align, because she still was like, hey, okay, you want to do this entrepreneur stuff? I got your back on it. But I still went to work. You got to understand that I still went to work. It's not like I quit my job and just was trying to do entrepreneur business and making no money and bring nothing to the house. And now we feuding. No, I still had the vision of we both have this house. We both got to pay these bills. We both got children. But I was an entrepreneur by nature and she wasn't. But that does not mean that our vision was not still aligned with each other. That doesn't mean she sowed a seed into my entrepreneur dreams. And you also can do that, but it goes back to what I said earlier, your delivery. Your delivery is key to making, not even making, allowing, yes, allowing, I said it right, allowing your spouse to hear and understand your vision. And guess what? Like China said, they might be like, you know what? My vision was XYZ, but I like your vision. And when that person say they like your vision or they can understand your vision, right then and there, let's pray over it. Let's not go what I'm saying. Okay, you like my vision, great. Now let's pray over it. So make sure God likes my vision. We always got to be here. You always got to be here. So once you say, let's pray on it, then God gonna sow a seed even heavy into that vision. So do not get upset or get irate because at the time, you guys' vision and aspirations don't align. That does not mean it will not always be that way. We are a team. We are one. We're going to figure it out. And if we can't figure it out, God can figure it out.
Yes.
You have to understand that. Keep him in the middle. My son said something so profound before. He said a marriage is two people facing each other and with God in the middle. He said once y'all turn, one turn they to the back, that's how visions, that's how marriages end up in divorce. Both participants have to stay focused on the middle, and God is in the middle. So people, I don't want to be long for you tonight. I just want to come on here and share a few points. I'm gonna let China do a little more closing before we close out. But don't get discouraged. That's the biggest thing I think we're trying to convey. Don't get discouraged when your visions don't align with your spouse's. It's okay. Guess what? We're a team. Let's get a game plan going. All right. Mine don't align with yours, and yours don't align with mine. Let's get a game plan. Like she said, let's start writing it down. Pros and cons of where this can go. And be realistic about your pros and cons. That was actually really dope. And I'm gonna use that for my next marriage. Pros and cons. If we don't align, that is really good though. But for real, like be practical. If you have to write it down, write it down. It's okay. Like, don't think it's dumb because it's not. If you have to literally make a list of his vision, your visions, pros and cons, and why, and switch lists. That's another thing. Take the list, switch, and then read it out loud to each other. Read his out loud to him, and you read hers out loud to her. And then write notes, the pros and cons on each other's, and then compare, contrast. It's many ways to get through this, but do not let that tear your marriage up because y'all don't align at that moment. At that moment, it's not going to last forever. Trying to get anything else you want to say to the people? Any more encouraging words about this topic?
Just a few more. I'm just gonna wrap everything up, everything that was said, and just add a few little key pieces. Like Ed said in the beginning, make sure that you get involved with a believer. That's really, really important. You know, also when you're speaking to your spouse, try not to nag, try not to do too much of this, because when you doing too much talking and you nagging like, well, why you don't want to do this, and if you're coming off like that, hey, that's a surefire way to get your spouse to ignore you. So that communication has to be very, very, very I want to say equal. Like, speak your piece, but then also take time to listen to what your spouse is saying. Don't be a bully. Don't be a bully. If you feel like you're always taking the lead or coming up with the vision, that's okay. It's okay to take the lead. Don't get caught up in that's a man's job or that's a woman's job. Hey, do what's best for you and your family, period. Don't put the stigma on the marriage. For the people who are finding themselves in a marriage right now and they're having like issues with the vision not being aligned, or maybe they got saved during a marriage, but when they were married, you both were maybe unbelievers, but one got saved and turned their life around, or whatever the case may be. My advice to you is Like Ed said, do not be discouraged. Don't give up. I know you long for that spiritual intimacy with your spouse. Just pray on it. That's the main important thing. Pray on it. Everything's gonna work itself out. You could still have a healthy marriage. You could still have a healthy marriage. And that marriage can still be a blessing. And that's about it. That's all I have to say. Just pray on it and make sure that you guys' vision aligns with God's vision first and foremost.
That's good. That's so good. I love you said, make sure your vision, y'all vision aligns with God's vision. And please, I'm gonna say this one more time. Have a good delivery. Pray on it before you even start to talk. Sorry about that, people. Pray on it before you even start to have the conversation. Have a prayer. Pray individually and then pray together. Then have the conversation. Go for a drive. Put some old school music on, whatever y'all hip hop, whatever y'all like, and cruise and have the conversation. If it's springtime, summertime, walk like you 12 years old, holding hands and have a conversation. I've heard Eric Thomas before say him and his wife, they get in the bed under the covers and then they have serious conversations because it's more of a relaxed mode. But find your peace, find wherever you need to find the situation to have the conversation, because a vision is a serious conversation that needs to be had, but just make sure your delivery and your clarity, be clear. Don't, like Joanna said, don't be afraid. Be clear to speak your piece, but do it in a loving, baby, sweetheart, honey, boo boo. Say something, whatever, to ease the tension, because us guys can be, and sometimes we just need a little chisel to get through that.
Yeah.
I hope that this small video, this small knowledge, because we're not perfect. I'm going through a divorce, trying to go through whatever she go. We're not perfect, but we're here to help in any way possible through experience, through prayer, through growth, to help you guys get through these little stumbling blocks. They're not big, they're little. And if you like these messages, please press click like, share if you think somebody else needs to hear it, and subscribe. Hopefully we'll have China back on again with us. She has some great insight. And I know y'all get tired looking at my ugly mug, so y'all might want to see somebody else to look at. It's okay. But like I always say, God loves you. I love you. And remember, keep God first. Have a
Yeah.
great, blessed night. Bye, y'all.